And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch it live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday. We got NBA playoffs on today, so we'll break down that game. Only one game on tonight, unfortunate, but hey, it's still something. So we'll preview that game, break it down, and do our moneymaker for that game. There was playoffs on last night in the NBA. Some good game fours tying up the series 2-2 in both games. So we'll break both of those games down, talk those through. And we're at the finale, folks. The finale. Does Aaron Rodgers deserve any credit? Any credit at all? Little credit, medium credit, big credit, lot of credit. Well, so far it's not a lot of credit. But we capped that off by looking at the Super Bowl against the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, very poor performance in the wild card game. Very solid performance in the divisional round games, and then in the NFC Championship game, once again, a really poor performance. So we've been totaling each playoff game out of 100 credit points, and so far, out of 300 potential credit points, he only has 110, folks. So we'll see what he can do in the Super Bowl. Does he deserve all the credit? No credit, any credit at all, for all this big ego that he has? Why does he have this big ego when he's only been to one Super Bowl? That's what we're just trying to get down to the bottom of. So we capped that off with the Super Bowl today, watching that and breaking it down and seeing what that's all about. So that's what we've got today on the show, but let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And the first couple up, we got to kind of do a new segment here. Who do we pay? We got a couple of holdouts here, corners, safeties. Now that mandatory minicamps are really kind of getting into this full swing with the bulk of the teams having them this week. So the first contestant on If We Can Only Pay One, Who Do We Pay? And the first contestant up is Jamal Adams, safety for the Seahawks. He is not going to be participating in Seattle's mandatory minicamp this week. He says it's for personal reasons, but I mean, the man doesn't have a contract. So let's see what it is, but we're going to kind of go with, it's a little bit of a contract dispute going on. So Jamal Adams is number one. Who's number two? Well, it's Xavier Howard, cornerback from the Dolphins. He's also holding out as well. We'll get to his because his is a special situation as well. And then our third contestant is Stephon Gilmore, cornerback for the Patriots. So we're going to be looking at their stats from last year. We also have some highlight packages of what they did last year. And, if, this was a different circumstance where they were all on the same team and we only could pay one, who would we pay? So that's what we're going to kind of do today to start off the show. So let's talk about each scenario first, and then we'll start breaking down the stats in the film. So first one up is Jamal Adams. Alrighty, he's going into his very last year of his contract. He's still on his kind of rookie deal with the Jets. The Seahawks took that on. He's paid $9 million, but next year he's a free agent, unrestricted free agent. So he's looking for that long-term deal. Doesn't want anything to happen to him this season because if he gets injured, he's not going to get that big deal. So he says he's holding out these mandatory minicamps for personal reasons, but the personal reason is probably my bank account. My bank account is looking a little light. That's personal. So that's contestant number one, Jamal Adams. Now let's talk about contestant number two out here, Xavier Howard, because once again, his situation is a little different because he just signed a contract last year and now he kind of wants to renegotiate. I mean, this man's getting paid $12 million this year and still wants to renegotiate his contract. So we got this article right here. Brian Flores, a couple of quotes about it. All right, so here we go. Howard signed a 5-year, $75 million extension with the Dolphins in 2019. Just 2 years later, the All-Pro corner wants a pay raise. Quote, by Brian Flores, the head coach of the Dolphins. Quote, normally we would keep all this stuff internal. Generally speaking, I think you put them in buckets. You got contract extensions. You got free agent contracts. So we have a player. We extend a contract. You have free agents you bring on. X is a little different, is a little bit of a unique situation. I'm sure you guys all understand this. He was extended, and now we're talking about a renegotiation of an extension. So that's a little bit different, and we've had a lot of discussions about that. Again, very unique situation when we're talking about a potential renegotiation after 1 year. I think those kinds of longer conversations, we understand that. Obviously had a lot of talks and conversations about those, and we'll continue to have those and keep those internal, but it's a very unique situation. So yeah, once again, I mean, he just got re-signed $75 million. It's not good enough for the man. He wants more. And when we talk about his stats, I mean, he was kind of the best defender last year. We had the stats to back it up, but we'll talk that through in a second. But let's meet our third contestant here, Stephon Gilmore, cornerback for the Patriots, and he's on the last leg of his contract as well, just like Jamal Adams, and he's only getting paid $7 million this year, which is kind of a little low, especially since he won kind of Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. Pretty solid. Not the best year in 2020, but overall that Patriots defense wasn't anything special because a lot of the holdouts and all that. So those are our three contestants. Stephon Gilmore on the last leg of his contract this year, unrestricted free agent in 2022. Same thing with Jamal Adams, but Xavier Howard's kind of a little bit of the outlier here with he ended up getting a contract and now wants to renegotiate it. So we got three great defensive players out here. So let's see how they stacked up against each other in stats compared to last season. So we're going to take a key look at kind of three main categories: interceptions, pass defenses, and sacks, because you can still blitz from the safety position, and Jamal Adams, he got it done. So let's take a look at how all these players kind of stacked up against each other. So let's start here with the interceptions. And the league leader in interceptions last season was one of our contestants, folks, Xavier Howard, with 10 interceptions last year. Absolutely fantastic. Now, where do these other kind of contestants fall? Well, let's see. We have to keep scrolling down here for Stephon Gilmore. Where is he at? All the way down, we're at 30, and we're still scrolling, looking for Jamal Adams and Stephon Gilmore. Where are they? Where are they? Y'all want to get paid a lot of money, but you're not even in the top 50? Top 50 of interceptions? Jeez. Not starting off so strong here. Where are they? We are at 2 interceptions so far, and we do not see their names. Stephon Gilmore, where art thou? Where art thou? We got to keep scrolling and scrolling. We're at 130, folks. 130 defensive players better than Stephon Gilmore out here. We are now at 1 interception, and there's Stephon Gilmore, ranked 169 in interceptions last year. Not the greatest. And then Jamal Adams, I think we have to go all the way down to 0. Let's double check that. Jamal Adams, no interceptions last year. That's not really his thing. He is kind of a safety. He's, more in, the blitzing and, just kind of nice solid coverage. So Xavier Howard wins the interception battle there, number 1 in the league, and that's kind of, why he wants to renegotiate this contract. He's like, oh, y'all got me on the discount. I'm not trying to be discounted no more. I just led the league in interceptions. Pay me my money. All right, let's go to our next category up, which is pass defenses. And once again, who's at the top of the list? Xavier Howard, number 1 in pass defenses with 20. So they're targeting him, and if you're going to target him, he's going to pick you off, or he's just going to break the ball up. No worries, no chance at a catch if you're going against Xavier Howard. So once again, why he wants this kind of renegotiated contract, because he's like, hey, y'all got me on the discount. Come on. led the league in interceptions, led the league in pass defenses. That's real solid work out here. But let's see where Stephon Gilmore and Jamal Adams stack up in pass defenses. So here we go. We got to keep scrolling. We are scrolling still, folks. We said 169. That was Stephon Gilmore for interceptions. Not the greatest. And now, once again, we are keep on scrolling, scrolling. We are now at 100. Even Budda Baker, he's got 6 pass defenses. Love to see it. All right, where are they? They're nowhere to be found down here, folks. They are nowhere to be found. We are at 180. That's 4 pass defenses. Y'all couldn't get 4 pass defenses? What are y'all doing? Even Jadeveon Clowney, a linebacker / defensive end, has 4 pass defenses. Jeez. Then we get Jamal Adams at number 228 with 3 pass defenses. And where is Stephon Gilmore? Come on. Where are you? There he is, 255 with 3 pass defenses as well. So, I mean, like what they did last year, nothing great. All right, and then our last kind of total here, the last category we're going to be looking at is sacks. Who's coming off the edge, who's blitzing, and who's getting to the quarterback. So let's see what we get here. Jamal Adams is number 11 with 9.5 sacks. That's absolutely fantastic for a safety, absolutely. Number 1 is TJ Watt with 15. Aaron Donald is number 2 with 13.5. Myles Garrett is number 6 with 12. Leonard Williams has 11.5. And that's kind of where Jamal Adams is, 9.5. Number 11, real elite pass rusher here for Jamal Adams, and he's a safety. So we give that man all the credit. Now these corners here, Stephon Gilmore and Xavier Howard, I'm sure they don't have any. What do we got here? Yeah, no sacks for Xavier Howard. That's not really what they do, the corners. And Stephon Gilmore, he's got no sack as well. Stephon Gilmore has 1 in his entire career, and Xavier Howard has 1 for his entire career as well. But like we said, that's kind of not what they do. But the fact that Jamal Adams can do that from the safety position, why he's kind of one of our favorite safeties to kind of talk about him, Tyrann Mathieu, because they're all over the field, and Minkah Fitzpatrick as well, because they can rush the passer real good. They're all over the field and are true ball hawks. So Jamal Adams getting it done, bringing down the quarterbacks, and you love to see it. So, these, solid defensive players out here, but Stephon Gilmore, I feel like he's kind of a one-and-done player. So, let's kind of, go to individual stats here and break them all down. Xavier Howard playing all 16 games last season, and that's fantastic because when we look at kind of these other 2 contestants out here, Jamal Adams only playing in 12 games, a lot of injuries going on with him. So let's talk about injuries real quick. Jamal Adams coming off, a myriad of injuries. He posts this after the season, man, an Instagram post of him recovering from, hand surgery, arm surgery. And this is what he says. So, quote, "I didn't complain all season because it was bigger than me. I hyperextended my elbow week 1. Week 2, I dislocated both my ring and middle finger multiple times. I then strained my groin week 3, which knocked me out for 4 games. Came back and dislocated my damn shoulder. Ended up tearing my labrum. Last week I had 2 surgeries at the same damn time. I say all that to say this. Keep that same fucking energy for next season. When I'm back healthy, all of you are on my list." Yes, sir. Talk your shit. I mean, 9.5 sacks with all that injuries, only playing 12 games. You got to give this man a lot of credit. So the man was a true warrior last season, trying to play through all those injuries. Jeez Louise. But that's definitely going to hurt him in contract negotiations. I mean, you're a little injury prone out here. You've only been in the league for 4 seasons, going into his 5th. Yep. So it's like, we can't really pay you that much, but he's a great talent. As we just saw, the 9.5 sacks, absolutely brilliant. Now let's talk about Stephon Gilmore, because once again, he only played 11 games last season, folks. Not that great. And he ended up missing the rest of the 2022 season because of a partially torn quad. So once again, what's his injury history like? Is, going into a contract year and you just had this injury, not the greatest. So, Stephon Gilmore only playing 11 games. Now, the one thing that he does have for him was that he was the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. Let's see his stats in 2019. How did they kind of stack up against what Xavier Howard did last season? So, Stephon Gilmore in 2019, only 6 interceptions, and he also had 20 pass defenses. Once again, leading the league in interceptions and leading the league in pass defenses, exactly what Xavier Howard did this season. All right, and let's just finish off just kind of their total stats here, and then we'll talk about some film, their highlights, and see how they're looking on the field. Is anybody looking better than the other? So let's see here. Xavier Howard last season, like we said, the 10 interceptions, 20 pass defenses, leading the league. He had 1 forced fumble, very well done there, and then he had a combined 51 tackles. Pretty solid there. No quarterback hits, 1 tackle for loss. So solid work there. Like we said, that's a corner. That's not really what they do. All right, Stephon Gilmore only playing 11 games, only 1 interception, 3 pass defenses, bottom of the league there. He also had 1 forced fumble, 37 combined tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and no quarterback hits. And then Jamal Adams last season, playing only 12 games, no interceptions, 3 pass defenses, 1 forced fumble, 9.5 sacks, which is absolutely brilliant. 83 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, and look at that, 14 quarterback hits, folks. So he is bringing the pressure, getting after the opposing team's quarterbacks, and you'll love to see it. Alrighty, so we talked about their contracts. We've talked about what they did last season. We've talked about their injury history. Now let's see what they've got going on actually on the field. So let's start here with Xavier Howard up first. We'll go through these highlights quickly. We'll probably not watch the entire thing. It's a 7-minute highlight tape. Each of these players have 7-minute highlight tapes. We're not going to watch all 7 minutes, but let's just kind of go through quickly here, see what we see, how they're looking, and let's see what we get. So first one up is Xavier Howard in the first play up here. Is against the Jaguars week 3 when the Dolphins are 0-2 to start the season, and this is just a bad ball by, unfortunately, Gardner Minshew out here. Not great, underthrown ball, and that's an easy pick for Xavier Howard. Here we go, another one, this time against the Seahawks with Jamal Adams, but this time it's Xavier Howard's getting it done in the red zone, and that's what that interception with Gardner Minshew came from, at kind of like the 5-yard line. Now he's picking off Russell Wilson in the end zone, and you'll love to see it. So bad quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, great throwers of the ball. He's going to go up and get it. Now this time, Jimmy Garoppolo on the play action against the 49ers over the middle of the field. The nice pass defense breaking it up. A bad ball by Jimmy G, and Xavier Howard takes credit for it. And now this time, he's not going to break up the pass. He's going to intercept it. An overthrow ball by Jimmy G. So we had an underthrown pass, we had an overthrow pass, and Xavier Howard's going to make you pay on all those balls. You better be 100% accurate. Now we got him against the Jets here. Joe Flacco in at quarterback, and this man's trash. We know this. And this is just, once again, an easy pass for Xavier Howard here. A nice crossing route over the middle of the field. It's one-on-one coverage, and Xavier Howard just steps in and takes the ball away. Love to see it. What else do we got up here? What else? Here we go. Against Joe Flacco again. Don't pick off this man twice. Oh, he just breaks it up this time. But Joe Flacco, man, oh man, this man throws the ball trashly, folks. This man, he's looking timid out there. He sees the pressure coming, throwing off his back foot, kind of wincing as he's throwing because he doesn't want to get hit. Real bitch move, if you ask me. All right, here we go. Picking off Justin Herbert, the best rookie quarterback last season. Yes, sir. A comeback route. Xavier Howard picks it off in a nice return there, picking off Justin Herbert. I mean, once again, great quarterbacks in Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, trash quarterbacks in Jimmy Garoppolo, and a nice pass defense once again in the red zone here of Justin Herbert. Look at this man locking it up in the red zone. Once again, exactly what you want to see. Getting it done, allowing no points, forcing the field goal, or just taking away the opportunity to get any points at all. So that's what we love to see. This time picking off Drew Lock, easy at kind of midfield-ish. Great field position now for the Dolphins. All right, here we go. Breaking up a pass here by Drew Lock once again. Over the middle of the field, going for the first down, and he bats the ball away. Jerry Jeudy couldn't secure the catch. All right, now they're facing the Jets again. This time it's Sam Darnold, and a great pass breakup going down to the 5-yard line once again over midfield and breaking up that pass. Here we go again at their own 30-yard line, going deep in the end zone, and that's a pass defense right there. Fantastic. All right, let's keep skipping up here. Here we go. Let's go to this Bengals game. Are we picking off Joey B now? No, this is after he got injured. Unfortunate. And Xavier Howard, this is a 50-50 ball. He goes up and plays it absolutely fantastically. And that's a pick, folks. What else do we get here? Patrick Mahomes. We got to add a great quarterback as well, folks. A great thrower of the football. Trying to go to Tyreek Hill once again in the end zone. And it's a pick. This man is not allowing any points to be scored, going against the greatest quarterback so far in the league right now and the greatest wide receiver in Tyreek Hill in the league right now, in picking it off one-handed elevation on the goal line. Man, oh man. And we can't forget about Cam Newton, right? Can't forget about Cam Newton. He completes the pass, but it's the wide receiver who fumbles the ball because Xavier Howard comes in, punches it out. Love to see it. Punching out the fumble. That's the one forced fumble that he had all season against Jacoby Myers. And then we'll leave it off on this play against Derek Carr at midfield, throwing it right over the middle of the field, and a nice pass breakup on 3rd and 3 to prevent the first down. Well, we'll add this one as well. Derek Carr going deep in the end zone. Another pass breakup in the end zone, folks. Truly getting it done there. So that's Xavier Howard. He is not allowing you to get anything easy. He's making you work for all those points. And if you're going to test him one-on-one in the end zone, you better be comfortable of walking away with 0 points on that drive because he's making you pay. All right, let's go to Jamal Adams here. Here we go. His first play against the Falcons. Nice little kind of check down, and he comes up and makes the tackle for a no-yard gain. Love to see it. All right, what play is next here against Atlanta as well? A running play, and Jamal Adams goes and hawks him down, throws him down 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, folks. That's what we love about Jamal Adams. He goes after it, and this time, oh my God, just coming free off the edge and sacking Matt Ryan. Not even 2 seconds. There's nothing he can do there. Jamal Adams firing right off the line of scrimmage, and man, oh man, he is making this Atlanta team his bitch. Another play here against the Falcons, and Jamal Adams goes up and makes a tackle. It's 3rd and 11, brings them 4 or 5 yards short, and forces the punt. All right, Jamal Adams in the red zone here against Cam Newton, and he brings them down. 3rd and goal, chases Cam Newton from behind, and that goes for a sack. We love to see that from Jamal Adams. 9.5 sacks last year, and we've seen 2 already. 1 on Matt Ryan, 1 on Cam Newton. Real solid kind of quarterback competition out there. All right, this time against the Patriots as well, and it's just a kind of a quick flip of the football to the running back, and once again, Jamal Adams comes up, plays it beautifully, goes and attacks. He's not breaking down. He's not dancing. He's not waiting for the running back to come to him. He goes up and makes the play on 3rd and 4 and tackles him 5 yards in the backfield for a 5-yard loss, folks. Absolutely well done. All right, against Josh Allen, he brings Josh Allen down. Another great quarterback to get a nice sack on Josh Allen. This time against Josh Allen again over midfield, and he goes and forces the fumble. Did he knock the ball out? No, didn't knock the ball out, but a nice sack once again here by Jamal Adams coming off the edge, and he's beating these kind of offensive tackles, and this man's a safety, able to bend around the edge like that. You love to see it. This time, knocking the ball out of Jared Goff's hands for the Rams, forcing the fumble. Yes, sir. Let's keep going here. What else has he got? Bringing down Jared Goff. The man brought down Jared Goff, Cam Newton, Josh Allen twice. You love to see it. He is getting it. He's getting the work done against the good quarterbacks, folks. This time against Kyler Murray in the The Cardinals chasing Kyler Murray out right at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and goal, not letting you get that touchdown, folks, locking it up. Here we go against Carson Wentz. They hand the ball off. No yard gain there on the run. A setup screen pass that goes nowhere. In the red zone, bringing down Carson Wentz. Fantastic. Forcing the 4th down and forcing another field goal attempt when the Eagles have scored 2 field goals in this game already. All right, we'll leave it here against Carson Wentz, forcing the pass attempt early. And then he goes and makes a tackle and brings up the 4th down once again. Let's leave it here against Daniel Jones. He's bringing down Daniel Jones for the sack as well. So he's just able to get up into that line of scrimmage and bring everybody down easy peasy. All right, let's go to Stephon Gilmore now. Let's see what he was doing here for this Patriots team in 2020. First play up is against the Dolphins with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Nice little 3rd and 3 check down, and he brings them down a yard short. Well done, Stephon Gilmore, not allowing you to get that first down. You love to see it. Here we go against Ryan Fitzpatrick again. Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing a pick a little bit too high for the receivers, and he goes and picks off Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well done. What else do we get? Let's keep going here. All right, this time against the Seahawks. Running play for 2nd and 1, and he brings them down a yard short, not allowing you to pick up that first down. Love it. Against the Raiders now, week 3. Derek Carr throws a little bit of a curl route, and Stephon Gilmore jumps it and bats the ball away. Incomplete pass. This time against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Here we go. Patrick Mahomes going to Sammy Watkins right over the middle of the field, and Stephon Gilmore forces the fumble. That's his one forced fumble. Very well done. Where are they in the middle of the field? At their own 20-yard line, so locking it up at the red zone. Once again, love to see that, taking away those opportunities from points. That's how you win the ball game, folks. Game-changing plays by elite corners, elite safeties, and that's just textbook of punching the ball out of Sammy Watkins' hands. Fantastic. All right, this time against the Chiefs, again, back in the red zone. Stephon Gilmore makes a big tackle there. Could have been an explosive play, and he brings him down for a 5-yard gain. This time, just kind of a 5-yard run. He gets into the mix. 2nd and 4. They go with the run again. Stephon Gilmore brings them down. They kind of give him a first down there, so not elite there. And then here we go in the red zone against Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers. Stephon Gilmore bringing them down, forcing a 3rd and 1. Yes, sir. This time against Jimmy Garoppolo again. They run off the ball. Stephon Gilmore. Okay, these highlights are not as good as the other two that we've seen. I'm not going to lie. 49ers throwing the ball again. He's making a tackle. They got like a 3-yard gain. Anything good out here? Another running play comes up. That's a great play. Coming up to make the play at the line of scrimmage on a run play. We'll take that one. Here we go. Pass play. A 3-yard gain. He's a sure tackler. He goes up and makes a tackle, but they're still getting some 4 or 5 yards on the play. Kyler Murray here. Oh, yeah. Stephon Gilmore is keeping it in front of Kyler Murray, making him run out of bounds for a 2-yard loss. All right. We'll take that, Stephon. Anything in the red zone, though? These are all kind of middle of the field. Nothing great. Here we go, 3rd and 4. That's what we're talking about. Bringing up 4th and 1, a slant over the middle, not letting the wide receiver get away from him. That's what we're talking about. And let's leave it on this last play. Whatever this next play is, we'll leave it here for Stephon Gilmore. Here we go. 2nd and 8 from the Chargers' own 20-yard line. Throw over the middle of the field, and that's a breakup, forcing 3rd and 8. So, once again, solid plays out here by Stephon Gilmore, but not as elite that we saw from Jamal Adams and Xavier Howard. So, that brings us back to the question, if we could only sign one, all 3 of these people are seeming to be holding out for bigger contracts. They feel like they deserve to get paid, and if we had to pay one, I swear I'm not biased here, but I think I got to go Xavier Howard, locking it up in the red zone, looking absolutely fantastic, denying the opposing team points. I mean, how can you go wrong with not signing this player? Now, if we're kind of bringing in contract into it, I'm not going to, renegotiate contract. We just signed you. every time you have a good season, are you just going to want more and more and more and more and more and more money? Now, I understand that from the player perspective, I would probably want the same thing. But as overall, we just paid you. We're not going to renegotiate this contract. Show up, don't show up. It's unfortunate. We would love you here. You're absolutely fantastic. But we're not going to re-sign you like that. We'll wait till, till you got 1 year left. We'll resign you. We'll respect you. We'll pay you for what you've done. What you feel like you're owed, we will pay you. But we're not going to do this every year, every offseason when, you have the best season, one of the best corners in the league statistically. We just broke it down. So, Stephon, I don't know about Stephon Gilmore. He's never really sold me as kind of an elite corner. I think he's very solid and very good. But I think him winning kind of the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year award, I think it kind of went to his head a little bit. And then obviously signing Jamal Adams, that's a must, folks. You need to sign this man. We see what he can do. He's a great blitzer off the edge. He can kind of, absolutely lock it up at the safety position to be that kind of safety net. So great players here. But if we only had to sign one, I'm signing Xavier Howard. All right, let's keep moving on with some stories here. Let's go back to the Patriots, and man, oh man, I don't know, man. We're kind of seeing everything real wild here with Cam Newton, and we just get some kind of more not great news from yesterday when we saw him at mandatory minicamp. So, little update here. Cam Newton was consistently first in the reps in these mandatory minicamps, followed by Mac Jones, number 2, and then Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, number 3 and 4. Mac Jones looked dialed in today, ball going to the right spot most often with decisiveness, accuracy on point. It was raining despite the rain until 1 or 2 throws at the end. So we hear Mac Jones looking real good out there, and we are going to kind of see in a couple of stories here. We do have some footage, but let's get to this story real quick. So we got Mac Jones, looking solid out there. Now let's talk about Cam Newton. Bill Belichick on Cam Newton says he's had a, quote, succession of building blocks having been here throughout the offseason, and he also notes that Newton is obviously light years ahead of where he was early on a year ago. So once again, we're hearing some good things from his coaches, but when we see him in some of these short clips of him throwing the football, it's not the greatest. So once again, I'm almost 100% off this man. I know I said, over the past couple of days this last week that we were taking it slowly and we're starting to kind of trust into him a little bit more here, but we were taking it slow on him. But now I think I'm leaning towards kind of fully sending this man off. I don't even know if I want to be a part of this Cam Newton narrative of kind of talking him up. He's kind of, hoodwinked us last season, and we're still kind of seeing these inconsistencies, folks, and we're going to talk about it in a second, but let's finish off with this last quote here. Quote by Bill Belichick, Cam's way ahead of where he was last year. There's no question about that. But he's still not looking good, so that's not great. So let's go to the actual film of what we saw. So we're going to get 2 passes by Cam Newton, 2 passes by Mac Jones here in this quick little clip here. So the first one, it was raining, and they're kind of working in the red zone. They're throwing the ball from the 10-yard line, and then you got the 10 yards for the entire end zone. So first throw up from Cam Newton, throwing, and it's well off the mark, way too right, out of bounds, no chance at a catch. But Cam Newton's, obviously looking light years ahead of where he was last season. So Cam Newton still not getting it done in the red zone. And folks, that was kind of our big knock on Cam Newton last season. Only having 8 passing touchdowns, folks. 8, not able to get it done at all, anywhere on the field. Red zone, regular, big playability. He does not have that, folks. Yes, he ran for like 16 touchdowns. That's why they were still putting up points, but still, if you're not throwing the football well, you can't just be a running quarterback in this league, folks. There's no quarterback that is just a pure running quarterback, folks. There's not. You can't even say Lamar Jackson. Stop that he's just some running back at the quarterback position. That's nonsense. So Cam Newton's got to get better in the red zone, and this first throw here is absolutely abysmal. Then we go to Mac Jones, wearing number 50 out here, throwing in the rain, and he throws it perfectly. High throw, back of the end zone. It would have been kind of a 50-50 jump ball and a real game-time decision, and that's what we're talking about. That's what we want to see in kind of these red zone, taking the shot, throwing it up so your receiver can get it. So Mac Jones 1, Cam Newton 0 so far. And then we get Cam Newton back here. Once again, throwing it way too high, folks. Way too high. There's a perfect kind of height on a 50-50 ball. Mac Jones just threw it perfectly, and Cam Newton threw it so high that the receiver couldn't even go up and get it, and it falls incomplete, well out of bounds. And then we get Mac Jones' second throw here. Mac Jones throwing the loft, throwing the 50-50 ball, and there it is. Solid. Not great, but it got there. It connected. It was a completion. So, not great out here by Cam Newton. So I'm ready to be totally off of Cam Newton, folks. I cannot trust this man anymore. I'll give him maybe one more chance, folks. I'll give him one more chance. The next time we see some film on this man passing, we'll make our final decisions. Maybe we can buy a little bit more time, but I am this close of truly being 100% off Cam Newton, and we'll see how he looks for the rest of these mandatory mini camps, and we'll see what they're looking like at training camp come next month. But man, oh man, Cam Newton, folks, the roller coaster of Cam Newton is alive and well, and if that's the case, we have to sell him because we just put up with the roller coaster ride of him last season, and we're not going to do it again. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. All right, quote here, going to the 49ers. 49ers tight end George Kittle on Trey Lance says, quote, has all the attributes to be a very special quarterback. All righty. Now, we've kind of already started to see kind of the transition here off of Jimmy Garoppolo, unfortunately, for the 49ers. They love him, but he can't stay healthy, and that's affecting the overall success of the team, and we can't be having that. So they drafted his replacement in Trey Lance. And now kind of, the first step of getting Trey Lance into the starting role is getting the team behind him, seeing how he plays and getting the kind of wide receivers big on him, getting the tight end, the pass catchers out here big on him. And then you can start working him as the number one once everybody's kind of on board and sees that Trey Lance can actually play well. So let's see what George Kittle is saying out here. So, joining NFL Network's Good Morning Football Tuesday, Kittle gushed. He gushed over the number 3 overall pick. He gushed over him, folks. Gushing all over the place. Oh my God. Oh my God, Trey Lance, I'm gushing on him. Quote here by George Kittle. Quote, I think Trey has all the attributes to be a very special quarterback. He's a freak athlete. Ooh, okay. He's a freak athlete. I think really one of my favorite things about him right now, just as a rookie, is he takes risks. He doesn't complete all the passes that he throws. Okay, well, we would like to see that. He doesn't complete all the passes that he throws, but he's trying to fit into the small windows. He's just trying to throw it as hard as he can and get it into that wide receiver going from in to that second window. I think that's really fun just to see a guy take those risks. And, that's actually great because that's kind of the one knock that we had on Tua that we've kind of been seeing that, his coaches were saying, he didn't really know what open was in the NFL. He wasn't, fitting it into those smaller windows. If it wasn't kind of, 3 steps wide open between the receiver and the defender, Tua wasn't making those throws or wasn't even attempting to make those passes. Now we get Trey Lance out here in practices when you can make those mistakes and learn and get better. Trey Lance is going 100% full send into this, folks. Throwing it in. Hey, if I throw the pick, if I have the incompletion, I don't care. But I'm going to show that I can make these throws, and I'm going to keep trying to make these throws to get myself better, show that I'm learning, show that I know what is open in the NFL. So when you put me out there in game time scenarios, I'm going to just let the ball fly and rip, and I'm going to get it in there one way or another. So I'm actually kind of, loving Trey Lance a little bit right now. We weren't big on him coming into this league. We saw what he did in college. Nothing, spectacular that we saw. Where do we have him on our big board? Where was he on our quarterback big board? Where do we got? He was all right. We put him at very last on our big board, folks. We had him even past Mac Jones. That was a little disrespectful maybe, but we'll still see what we get here. Still plenty of time to see these quarterbacks emerge, get better, maybe, flounder and get worse. But George Kittle's gushing all over this man, folks, and I'm loving that he's kind of taking those risks, having fun with it. Know that you can make the mistakes in practice. That's where you're supposed to learn and get better. Don't be afraid in practice, because if you're afraid in practice, you're going to be double afraid in game time scenarios. So kind of solid information here, solid quotes, especially with George Kittle. He holds a lot of weight on that 49ers team. He's an absolutely fantastic tight end, probably top 3 in the league. Travis Kelce, I have to put as number 1. Darren Waller, George Kittle, I'll let y'all take your pick at number 2 and 3 there, but definitely top 3 tight end in this league. And if he's gushing over Trey Lance, maybe we should start gushing on Trey Lance too, shall we? All right, let's see. Do we get anything else here? Kittle noted that the dynamic between the veteran and rookie quarterback is ideal. Quote, it's actually great. There was a story that came out that Jimmy Garoppolo was one of the first guys to text Trey Lance. We did talk about that. I can confirm that. That is a real story. That's just the type of guy Jimmy is. He's not going to shy away from adversity, shy away from a draft pick. He has a fire lit under him, and he's excited to roll. I think Jimmy, I know Kyle Shanahan said it, I think I said it too. I think Jimmy played one of his best OTA balls that I've ever seen out of him. He was just slinging it left and right, so that was fun to see. So, wow, we kind of have a true quarterback competition here in the 49ers locker room. And that's fantastic. Once again, having that drive to push you to get better. We saw Kirk Cousins kind of take on that role. We've heard him saying, hey, I'm going to, coach up this guy, but I'm also going to kind of, play my best, because now I kind of have, this kind of, this pressure on me to perform, because if I'm not performing, they'll go with guy number 2. And, Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of doing the same thing out here. Yes, I'm going to kind of be the mentor to this guy. I'm not going to shy away from him, and he's going to make me better. And then we get Aaron Rodgers. You draft my replacement, I shut down. I clam up. I go back into my shell, and I'm not even going to show up. You're not going to push me by drafting my replacement. So we see drastic differences between some quarterbacks in this league, and what pushes them, and what offends them, and what makes them turtle up. So we'll see if these both quarterbacks are slinging it around. Jimmy Garoppolo played the best OTA balls that Kyle Shanahan has seen, that George Kittle has ever seen, but that's kind of not the problem with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's the health. He has to stay healthy. It's not that he can't play. He's solid. He got to the Super Bowl. You don't get to the Super Bowl by not being solid, folks. So we'll see if he can stay healthy, and if he can't, George Kittle, and it seems like this kind of coaching staff is starting to get big on what Trey Lance can truly do out here. All right, we'll leave it off here on this last quote here, leading up to the quote. Of course, if Lance shows up to training camp and balls out in Shanahan's system and clearly adds an extra element with his legs, the coach might have no choice but to play the young quarterback. Quote by George Kittle. I'm excited to see just his progress throughout training camp, and he's an eager guy that wants to learn. And I know when you're in the room with Coach Shanahan, kind of the mastermind, you're going to learn a light. You're going to learn a light. Okay, I don't know what that means. So he's definitely in the right spot. All right, so George Kittle starting to get big on Trey Lance, loving that he's taking those shots, loving that he's trying to squeeze the ball in, loving that he's just slinging the ball around the field, no fear in Trey Lance, and hey, that's how you have to play out here. So we'll see who's going to win the starting job here. We'll see if Trey Lance can rival Jimmy Garoppolo for the starting job, or if Trey Lance just gets stuck in there because Jimmy Garoppolo gets injured first play of the year. All right, let's keep moving on. Let's go to these NBA stories up. And Kyrie Irving, he will not play in game number 5. He was officially diagnosed with a right ankle sprain. So it's not a break, not a fracture, nothing like that, just a sprain. And we'll see how long he will be out, but he will not be playing in game 5. But maybe he will, because we get this story right here. This came out yesterday at 5:16 p.m. saying that James Harden is out for Game 5 with a hamstring injury, but we get a little update today at 9:52 a.m. from Woj saying Nets have upgraded James Harden to doubtful for Games 5, and adding that Harden is expected to test his hamstring in shoot-around today and has been determined to try and find a way to get cleared to play for Game 5. So we went from Harden out to him being upgraded to doubtful. He most likely doesn't play in this game, but the fact that he's trying to get out there, knows that he truly needs to be out there since Kyrie Irving cannot be out there for game number 5, cannot leave it up to just Kevin Durant himself. Yes, Kevin Durant's a great player, he's a great shooter, but he can't facilitate the floor as well as Kyrie, James Harden's the best facilitator on this team. That's why he is kind of the point guard of these kind of great talents out here. But James Harden, he can't facilitate the floor, and what James Harden and Kyrie Irving can do, they can stretch the floor and make other guys open. Kevin Durant really can't do that. He's just looking to score. Yes, he can make the passes, but overall, he's not the point guard. He's not the one that's going to facilitate the offense, facilitate the floor, find the consistent open players. Folks, so I have to remind y'all again that James Harden was averaging 11 assists before he got injured. No other point guard in the league was anywhere close to that number. So respect James Harden out there. And we just kind of saw the way the offense was ran after Kyrie went down. Now, we talked about it. They still outscored the Bucks in the fourth quarter by 1 point, but overall the offense didn't have that kind of dangerous firepower about him. It's not like, Mike James can kind of, step up and be the starting point guard now and still get that great production. So the Nets are truly going to need either Kyrie or James Harden at some point if they want to win the ring. Just to get out of this second round, they're definitely probably going to need at least one of them. We got Game 5 tonight, and this is going to be an absolutely huge game for Kevin Durant and the Nets. To really, everybody has to step up to try and beat this Bucks team that just tied it up and is a little bit at full strength because they're only missing Dante DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo compared to Kyrie Irving and James Harden, I think we all know which one is way worse. So we'll see if James Harden's going to go. He's going to try to go. Don't expect it, but he's going to try to be out there. Alrighty, now we get another kind of report here, a rumor that the Hornets are, quote, very intrigued by the idea of trading for Kristaps Porzingis if he were available. Alrighty, we were decently big on this Hornets team. They were all good when LaMelo was not injured, and they were kind of the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, and then LaMelo Ball gets injured. They fall all the way down. He comes back, but Gordon Hayward was still injured, and they just could not make it work. But if I have a team of LaMelo Ball and kind of Kristaps Porzingis, I'm all about that, but still, Kristaps Porzingis needs to play down low. He needs to roll to the basket on these pick and rolls. LaMelo Ball can make the pass. He can get you those oops, and he can stretch the floor himself by some decent shooting ability. But wherever Kristaps Porzingis goes, he's going to need to kind of be a bigger presence down low that he was not trying to do with the Mavericks. So I can get behind this Hornets team of, LaMelo Ball, Porzingis, Devontae Graham, Gordon Hayward. Hopefully they wouldn't have to kind of get rid of him for Porzingis. Gordon Hayward may be in that trade package deal for the Mavericks to open up their outside shooting a little bit more. But if this kind of Hornets team can keep LaMelo, Porzingis, Gordon Hayward, and then either Terry Rozier or Devontae Graham. Hopefully you can keep one of them. Ideally, you keep both of them. But, if you can keep kind of those core 4 players here, add another kind of good solid 4, maybe a 5, depending on what Porzingis wants to do. But I can get behind, LaMelo Ball and Porzingis going at it. A nice elite pick and roll game, but Porzingis is going to have to be a big, beefier presence down low than he was with the Mavericks. Wherever he goes, Porzingis is going to have to get big and go down low. That's all there is to it. All right, and then this last story to talk about kind of ties into the games from last night. It does tie into the game from last night, but this is kind of a big story here, a big quote. So Clint Capella on Joel Embiid. Here we go. Quote, whenever you wear him out, everything becomes tougher for him. When the fatigue comes in, it's a different ball game. And we saw that 1,000% from Joel Embiid last night. He put up what did he put up? 18 points? 13 to 18 points in the first half, and then really coming up short. There was a point It was in the fourth quarter where he was 0 of 8 from the field, folks. So getting him, bodying him up down low as the season progresses, as these playoff series progress, Joel Embiid is getting worn down, folks. And Clint Capella is kind of a big attribute to that because he's bodying him up down low. And that's where Joel Embiid goes. He's beefing it up down low. Yes, he kind of takes some threes, but overall his main game comes from down low, obviously. So the fact that, this series continues on, the longer it goes, the more Joel Embiid kind of gets fatigued, the more he doesn't want to go down low, the more the paint opens up for Atlanta offensively. And, Joel Embiid is the 76ers' number one scoring option on this team. And if he's not driving down low, consistently getting down low to get those kind of easier points in the paint, they can't score, and they floundered in the second half of last night's game, and the Hawks took advantage and ended up winning. And it came all down to this play right here, and this is exactly what Clint Capella is talking about. We see it in full force right here. So 15 seconds left. Hawks only up 1, and the 76ers have the ball. Hawks up 1, 101-100, 15 seconds left. 76ers have the ball. Tobias Harris comes off the pick. Joel Embiid rolls to the basket. Tobias Harris gives Joel Embiid the ball. He has the ball at the free throw line. And what does he do? He just kind of goes for the layup. He couldn't take that extra dribble, one dribble, and then posterize the bucket. Joel Embiid kind of being fatigued late in the game, going for a lackadaisical layup that doesn't go, instead of kind of just doing a solidified jam that we all know Joel Embiid can do. So that meniscus tear is starting to act up potentially. The fatigue of the playoffs are starting to wear on him, and then he just goes for this lackadaisical layup that completely misses the rim, and then Ben Simmons has butterfingers and the ball flips out of his hands out of bounds, and then it's game over from that point. But that's exactly what Clint Capella is saying right here, and we see it right here. There's no reason why Joel Embiid could not go up and yam that ball down, take the extra dribble. He really didn't even need the extra dribble, but he decides to go with the layup over a dunk, and that would have put him up 1 point with 7 seconds left, and who knows what would have happened after that point if the Hawks could have, scored the ball. They don't, whatever, but the point still stands that the 76ers could have had a nice 1 point lead, locking up on their defense, which they've been doing all night. Hawks kind of, lackluster shooting in the fourth quarter. Yes, they were able to win, but still nothing reliable on that team. Bogdanovich was missing wide open three after wide open three. Wide open looks in the fourth quarter to really extend the game, but we saw the fatigue start to set in for Joel Embiid down late here. But watch it one more time. Clear here, folks. Literally, the takeoff point from the bottom of the free throw circle, folks. He takes off. Could have yammed it. But he decides to go with the layup, and he misses it. Unfortunate. So Joel Embiid had an abysmal second half of this game, truly hurt the 76ers. Atlanta took advantage, and they were able to win by 3 points last night. So tie up the series 2-2, going back to Philadelphia for game number 5, and we'll see what the Hawks can do there. But as the series progresses, folks, and now if Joel Embiid has to go against Giannis, let's just say the 76ers beat the Hawks, and Joel Embiid has to go against Giannis in a 7-game series. I mean, I love Clint Capella, but I'm taking Giannis over Clint Capella down low any day of the week. And Giannis and Joel Embiid are gonna get after it down low. They're gonna be both beefing on each other, bodying each other down low, and who's gonna have the more kind of sustainability, an injured Joel Embiid or a healthy Giannis down low in a 7-game series. It's going to be tough, folks. It is truly going to be tough. And then, if Joel Embiid makes it past the Bucks, he's going to potentially have to go against DeAndre Ayton down low. So, they're not going to make it easy on Joel Embiid to win a ring. And we see the fatigue setting in. Clint Capella puts it absolutely fantastically. Whenever you wear him out, everything becomes tougher on him. When the fatigue comes in, it's a different ball game. And that's exactly what we saw last night. Alrighty, those are all the stories that we needed to talk about for today. So let's head over to the Super Bowl, folks. Packers, Steelers, 2010 Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers' only Super Bowl win and appearance. Does he deserve any credit for this Super Bowl run? So far, not really. Like we said, wild card game, absolutely abysmal. Got bailed out by the defense in the running game time and time again. We gave him 10 out of 100 credit points for that performance. Then he goes on to the Falcons, had a real good game there. We gave him 90 out of 100% credit points. And then we just watched the NFC Championship game yesterday on the show against the Bears. And man, oh man, bailed out because he was going against freaking Caleb Haney. Bailed out by the defense. Defensive pick six by BJ Raji. Multiple interceptions from garbage quarterbacks, Jay Cutler in the first half and Caleb Haney in the second half. Multiple interceptions for the defense. And once again, Aaron Rodgers not able to capitalize on all those turnovers, and it was still a close game, but once again, coming down to the wire, kind of in the red zone from like the 30-yard line. The opposing team throws an interception, and Aaron Rodgers gets bailed out. So we gave him 10 out of 100 credit points for that Bears game. So out of potentially 300 credit points for the first 3 playoff games, he's only earned 110, folks. That's 33%. Nothing great out there. So can he get a lot of credit for the Super Bowl? Did he just go absolutely balls to the wall, making all the throws, 4 touchdowns, 100% passing percentage, passing completion percentage, no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles, cashing in on every single drive, cashing in on every single turnover by himself, not even going to the running game? So let's see what we get here. We'll look at the stats. We'll break down these kind of scoring drives. We'll break down the tape and see and come to the ultimate conclusion. Does Aaron Rodgers have any right to have this big ego to kind of, have this inflated head where he needs all the help and everything's everybody else's fault and there should be never any blame on Aaron Rodgers? So let's see what we get here. Steelers, Packers, Super Bowl. So we obviously know the Packers win this game. Obviously, that's why Aaron Rodgers has a ring, but it was close. 31-25, one possession game. So we'll see how the game turned, who had the ball last, and we'll check out all that stuff. But first, let's get into the stats. Now, Aaron Rodgers finally going against a good quarterback in prime Big Ben out here. Now, he went against Michael Vick in the first round, and once again, Michael Vick was solid, but never really kind of, overachieved in his career, never really kind of won the big games consistently, unfortunately. Matt Ryan early on in his career, kind of same thing, and then you were facing Jay Cutler and Caleb Haney for the NFC Championship game. I mean, folks, don't even talk about those quarterbacks to me, please. So finally facing a good quarterback here in Big Ben. Let's see what he did. 25 of 40 for 263 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 picks. Wow, that's so surprising. Aaron Rodgers gets bailed out by the opposing quarterback throwing picks, getting bailed out by the defense. We'll see when these picks came and, how they looked and all that, but geez Louise, how crazy is that? Aaron Rodgers getting bailed out by the picks. Now let's look at Aaron Rodgers' stats. Did he have any turnovers in this game? Here we go. He went 24 of 39 for 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's what we're talking about, baby. Did he have any fumbles? No fumbles. Alrighty, so not turning the ball over by Aaron Rodgers. That is exactly what we're talking about here. So let's start looking at these drives here, and let's start rolling some tape. So the stats are looking good by Aaron Rodgers. Alrighty, let's see the very first drive. The Steelers start with the ball. They unfortunately go 3 and out. Then the Packers go 6 and out. We're not going to watch these plays, but let's see the drive chart here. Passing complete by Aaron Rodgers, 1-yard run by James Starks. Then we get a 24-yard pass by Aaron Rodgers, very well done. Then we get a pass incomplete on first down, 3-yard run, bringing up 3rd and 7, and a pass incomplete by Aaron Rodgers. Let's watch this pass incomplete here. It's 3rd and 7 at the Packers' 49-yard line. So let's see if he kind of beefed it on this throw, if this was all his fault, but why could they not pick up this first down? Fans, folks, Big Ben incomplete, can't have that game-winning drive, and the Packers win their 1 Super Bowl for Aaron Rodgers. So After all we saw on this kind of tape and the drives and the stats, Aaron Rodgers played a hell of a game, and I'm giving him 90. I'm giving him 99 out of 100 credit points right there. The ball was on the money on all the throws. A lot of drops by the wide receiver. We would have probably liked to see him score, maybe extend the clock on some of these drives in the third quarter. I mean, these 3 and outs, the three and out there to start the third quarter, only taking 2 minutes off the clock. Would have loved something more out of that drive. The 3 and out on their second drive after the third quarter, only taking 1 minute and 19 seconds off the clock. Their third drive, basically the entire third quarter, honestly, all 3 and outs, not taking up any time. 2 minutes, 1 minute, 19 seconds, 2 minutes, 6 seconds, 36 seconds. So would have loved to see him do something on those drives. But once again, the receivers dropping the balls on most of those passes, not great. So we're going to award Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl in the big game 99 out of 100 credit points. So after all that we've seen, we give him 199 out of 400 credit points for the entire playoff run. No, it's 209. I did the math wrong. 209 out of 400 credit points for the entire run. He won the Super Bowl, folks, so he got to the game. Not really that great, but he got to the game and he showed out in the game. So for the Super Bowl alone, Aaron Rodgers deserves all the credit in the world for winning the Super Bowl. But getting to the Super Bowl, 33% credit by him. Really kind of bailed out by the defense on 2 of those 3 playoff games to get to the Super Bowl. But at the Super Bowl, I give him my respect. I tip my cap to him. An amazing game performance at the highest game of the season. So we give him credit for that. So that will kind of do it for our NFL, our Rodgers Championship Revisit series. We give Aaron Rodgers credit for the Super Bowl, not too much credit leading up to the Super Bowl. Alrighty, let's head over to the NBA, break down the games, and see what we've got on tap for tonight. So, the first game up, the Hawks and the 76ers. Hawks win this one. We also hit on this one. Hawks +3. They win by 3. Didn't even need those 3 buffer points, so very well done there. But for this Hawks team, once again, the shooting just really unreliable. Bogdanovich, so many open looks in the fourth quarter and just missing them, folks. He shot 4 of 13 from the 3. He had 22 points, which is great. Second leading scorer for the squad, but we need him to be more efficient and we need him to be more clutch. But at the end of the day, it's a 2-2 series now. It's the best of 3. We'll see how they handle it. But Bogdanovich has to be better going forward. Trey Young, an absolutely amazing game. 25 points, 18 assists. Love to see that. He shot 3 of 11. Once again, his three-point shooting has just gone downhill in this series. If he can step it up, this Hawks team can win the series. They can still win the series, folks. This is not a written-off series. They just tied it up 2-2. But we need to see Trey Young and Bogdanovich just shoot the ball better. Clint Capella down low, 12 points, 13 rebounds, a great night. John Collins, 14 points, 12 rebounds. And then Kevin Huerter in the starting lineup for Tony Snell, who was injured. 10 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 40%. Off the bench, Lou Williams, 9 points, and Danilo Gallinari, 7 points on 16% shooting, though. So we just need these scores when they're wide open to hit them, and then we're talking about this Hawks team having a great opportunity to win this series and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Hawks win by 3, a great performance. Overall, they were able to get it done. A hard grit fought one game, and they were able to make the plays when they needed to. All right, the 76ers now. Ben Simmons, 11 points, 9 assists, 12 rebounds, only taking 10 shots. Seth Curry, 17 points on 3 of 6 from the 3, and he shot 70%. Once again, Seth Curry has been amazing this series, offensively, defensively, and I give so much credit to that man. Joel Embiid, 17 points, 21 rebounds. But this man, folks, he shot 4 of 20 from down low. 4 of 20 from the field. Once again, the fatigue is starting to set in. He had an entire first round series. Now we're starting to get into the middle of the second round, and we're starting to see his play start to decline. And that's going to be the big thing to know in game number 5 here. Yes, they're at home, but is Joel Embiid healthy and rested? That's what we got to see, because he was not rested in game number 4 here. Tobias Harris, always reliable, 20 points, 5 rebounds on 2 of 3 from the 3. And then Furkan Korkmaz filling in for the injured Danny Green. He hit a big shot down late. I'll give him credit for that. 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 of 5 from the 3, and he hit a clutch shot. Off the bench, Dwight Howard, man, oh man, that man's fantastic. I love it, man. 7 points, 10 rebounds in only 11 minutes. And then Shake Milton, he put up 8 points, but he did shoot 28% on 7 shots. So overall, we have to just see Joel Embiid go down low and be more efficient down low, but he has been getting locked up as the series has progressed. So Hawks win by 3, escape, and now we're going back to Philadelphia for game number 5, and that's going to be an absolutely great one. All right, speaking of games going to game number 5, tied up. Yes, sir. The Clippers get it done. Once again, we hit on this one as well. Clippers -5. We had to start respecting this Clippers team. The offense of the Jazz is just not there. This Clippers defense is truly locking it up, and we just saw that last night. Clippers got up to a big lead and then never looked back, folks. What did they outscore them in the first quarter? 30-13, and they never looked back after that. So, well done by this Clippers team. We'll start here. Kawhi Leonard, 31 points, 7 rebounds, 47% from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, efficient as always. Plus 14 on the floor, very well done. Marcus Morris, he was hitting some big shots all day, folks. 5 of 6 from the 3 for 24 points and 6 rebounds. Marcus Morris, very well done. He's kind of Jay Crowder-esque. I like Jay Crowder better, but this is what Marcus Morris can be, this lethal defender while shooting the 3-point at a high clip, and that's what we saw last night, truly putting them over the edge last night. Love it. Paul George, a great night. His playoff P finally good. We just saw 2 back-to-back good games here by Paul George. 31 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists on 4 of 10 from the 3 and 45% on 20 shots. We will take that. Yes, sir. Reggie Jackson, a little light night scoring the ball. Only 4 points, but he only took 4 shots. He was a +9 on the floor. Love seeing that good defense. And then Nicholas Batum still at the 5. 7 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Was not efficient. He shot 1 of 6 from the 3. Absolutely abysmal. And 25% on 8 shots. And the Clippers bench, we got Luke Kennard, 8 points on 5 shots. Love it. Zubac, 8 points, 5 rebounds in 17 minutes. Love it. Terrence Mann, could be a little bit better out here. 3 points on 5 shots. And then Patrick Beverley just kind of doing his thing. 2 points on 1 shot, 4 blocks, 1 steal, 3 assists, 3 rebounds in only 20 minutes. And he was a +3 overall on the floor. So this Clippers team can lock it up defensively, and this Jazz team, they just don't have an offense, folks. I look at all these other teams. I look at the Hawks. I look at the 76ers. I look at even this Clippers team that I'm not the biggest fan of offensively, but I just love all their offenses. I can see a true offense on all these teams, and then when I watch the Jazz, it's just like they struggle to do anything offensively. I see no continuity in their offense, and it's most likely lackluster. And definitely without Mike Conley, another offensive piece, he's been out, and they've been struggling mightily. Once a very deep team, it cannot figure it out how to get it done off the bench. So let's talk about this Jazz team now. Donovan Mitchell, 37 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 6 of 15 from the 3, folks. It's not bad. Joe Ingles still at the 2, 19 points on 5 of 7 from the 3. He's been great. Rudy Gobert, 11 points, 8 rebounds. He hit 100% of his shots, 4 shots down low, hit them all. We'll give him credit. Royce O'Neal, 8 points, 8 rebounds, and then Bojan Bogdanovic, 18 points on 2 of 5 from the 3, 50% from the field on 12 shots. He had 5 assists and 3 rebounds to go along with that. Unfortunately, just not enough. And then the bench, Jordan Clarkson, jacking up 12 shots, only shooting 25%. Once again, Jordan Clarkson needs to slow it down, folks. Get others involved, man. 8 points and 2 assists, and he was a -16 on the floor, the worst on the game, on the team, folks. So Jordan Clarkson is not helping this team out at all. 6th man of the year, man. I do not agree. And then nobody else doing anything off the bench, really, because Jordan Clarkson is not giving them those shots off the bench. So Jordan Clarkson, if he's off, man, they're going to have no bench scoring, and that's exactly what happened last night. Donovan Mitchell's trying his damnedest, but at the end of the day, there's just not enough firepower. There's not enough kind of, passing, assisting going on in this offense. It's really just Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and then Jordan Clarkson gets in, and then he just kind of hogs the ball for the rest of the game. So I do not like this Jazz offense really at all, man, and they ended up losing big time last night, 118-104, 14-point loss. All right, that brings us to what we have on tap for tonight, folks. We got one game on tonight, one chance to make some money. So let's see what the spread is, and let's talk through this. So here we go. The one lone game on tonight is Bucks Nets Game 5, and it's going to be an absolutely great one. Bucks -3, Nets +3. Alrighty, let's see if we get any concrete information on James Harden. Everybody's good to go for this Bucks team, and then James Harden is still a game-time decision. Do we have any update on this man? Wow, we just get it 29 minutes ago, folks. James Harden plans to play Tuesday, barring a setback. So we've heard he's out. Then today is game time decision, doubtful, just 3 hours ago. But 29 minutes ago, he plans to play, folks. So how long he goes, I don't know. How effective, I don't know. But this Bucks team, man, they've been struggling too. There's nothing that's truly solidifying me on this Bucks team. The only thing that we have to really to go on betting wise is no Kyrie Irving, nobody to really facilitate the floor. If James Harden's not at 100%, and we just saw the last time he tried to go, he was out real early in the game. So can we see the same thing? Maybe trying to push it a little bit too early. I would love to see James Harden. If James Harden was a fully healthy, I'm taking this just James Harden and Kevin Durant +3. I'll take those points all day. But this Bucks team has new life, folks. They have new life. Just tied it up 2-2, won both of those games at home. And now this Nets team has to rely on all their kind of role players. The Mike James, the Bruce Browns. Who else do we got? Maybe Joe Harris. Joe Harris has to be so much better than he's been so far. So those players need to step it up. But I'm going to go with the Bucks here, folks. I see kind of a tide turning here. The Nets are kind of searching for answers. 2 straight losses. Kyrie out. And now Steve Nash is going to have to start. He's going to have to start coaching this team, actually. And now we get to see it's time for Steve Nash to put up or shut up coaching. Who cares about injuries? Every team deals with injuries. That is not an excuse not to win games. You still have Kevin Durant. You still got some great role players this Nets team was like top 2 offense in the league, folks. And I know they have a big 3, but still, Steve Nash has to get it right here for this Nets team, and that's really the main reason why I'm going to bet the Bucks here. They have new life, just won 2 straight games, and Steve Nash now has to start coaching. Great, fantastic. And I don't know if he's up for it. So I'm going to take the Bucks here -3. We'll see how great James Harden is going to be, and I hope he is, because that man's a great facilitator of the floor. But how healthy he's going to be, how healthy is he going to be, how long does he play? Does he play a full 40 minutes? Do they kind of cap him at 20? Does he even get to play more than 10? It's all in question, folks. So we're going to take the Bucks -3 tonight. All right, let's see if we get anything breaking, or is that going to do it for us today? Anything. What do we got? That seems to be it, folks. That seems to be it. So that's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And we will be back tomorrow, folks. Alrighty, we're out.